Splatoon 3, that's a thing. Now here's the problem I have with this installment. Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3 are going to be on the Switch. 2 Splatoon games in one. Oh, how cool. I always wanted to be like the kid in Toy Story 1. Well, we now have 2 games competing for the same squid-to-human transforming simulation of censored bloodshed. If both games can supposedly get you in a team of 4, a main, a sub, a special, and World of Goo, what's the barrier in making all the content here a DLC/free updates for Splatoon 2? It's like typical shooter games. Rather than building on one title, you just release the next one a year later. Hell yeah! Add an associative year onto that box art and then add a meaningless UI change onto that garbage. Granted, this one is based on the span of nearly 5 years, but after seeing the jump from 1 to 2, you kinda see how getting a more buffed up version of the last game isn't as creatively demanding as like a completely different spin-off, right? So, whatever this game is gonna be, it just has to be a game changer. A flip in the bricks. Something so weird it makes the vicious Twitter battles between fake cephalopod idols seem like baby fist fights. Now, a trailer is a Mad Max-style illegal band of gangster squid approach. Cool and interesting and definitely worth looking into. However, for my idea, it's unrelated. This video is very different from the video game embodiment of the federal land ratio in Nevada. You want an actual breakdown of this thing? After you finish watching the video, go to the link in the description. Looking at all the Splatoon content, lore, and in general, it's not very bright. Firstly, there seems to be an overlying theme of war. Racially, between the Octarians and the Squid Kids, and ideologically between the dead scientist phone guy from FNAF and Jack's Films girl. All the old Splatoon wars where turf war used to be actual bloodshed are probably based on the more public and opportunistic world wars, and the campaign itself is set in a Cold War, a more secretive style battle, where kids are now agents, and in the ink, there's ricin. Now I could just expand on this, and rename the game Splatoon 0, where it's a prequel and everything is based on Metal Gear with washing machines. But we should make this wackier, more spin-off-y, more creatively intensive than just a simple shift in the digits. Alright, under that glorious title Splatoon lies the subtitle.
Super Mario Sunshine! Woohoo!
Alright, this is a working title. Obviously, it's not called that. It could be Splatoon vs. Mario, or Splatoon Sunshine, or Splatoon vs. Sunshine. Just Splatoon battling the idea of Super Mario Sunshine. What does this mean? How does this even make any sense? Come on, we've all thought of it, right? Especially from this image in particular. Flood is just too perfect for this game. So, a 4v4 online-based shooter featuring the oldest Nintendo IP and the newest Nintendo IP, Arms I Will Snip You Out of Existence, should be Splatoon quote-unquote 3. The basic story in this world, Isle Delfino and Inkopolis Plaza are somewhat connected. I don't really know how it can. Maybe multiverse, time travel, different planets. Anyway, they eventually connect, they just can't be easily accessible to each other as of now. Anyway, why did this connection happen? Well, it's because the plot starts with EGAD. He discovers in his sci-fi tropes of madness that another civilization is out somewhere, and he wants to make money from it. That's right, the VS isn't actually a VS, but instead alluding to a third separate party villain, like all other Hollywood movies who put verses in the name and still wants to make money from their Iron Man action figure. Now, why EGAD? Well, it's expanding on this piece of text.
A strange old man in a white coat gave it to me. A strange old man in a white coat.
He's talking about EGAD. EGAD gave the main weapon used by Bowser Jr., paired with the line,
"Thank you for purchasing this item from GAD Science Incorporated,"
with a machine that has the same emblem from the paintbrush of Bowser Jr. This game will basically be an extension of these two moments from Mario Sunshine, where it's heavily implied that both parties of the Mushroom Kingdom have the same weapon supplier, and oh boy, he's got eyes on the green. Now, EGAD aggravates the two sides towards each other in some way. Maybe take their Zabfishes and accuses it on Peach's industrialization plan. Kidnap Pearl because she looks like a toad, can you blame him? The Mushroom Kingdom, on the other hand, is maybe triggered because Shine Sprite got inked this time, not by Bowser Jr., or I don't know, the fact that this race is supposedly leeching off of an extinct human race via nuclear warfare, but it's up for debate. I like my idea more. Now, EGAD's money-making scheme comes in by supplying the Mushroom Kingdom with water-based weapons that can both clean the ink and kill these squids, setting up the basic plot and the gameplay. Basically, here's the power dynamic. Team Squid obviously has the magical ink capabilities, specials, sub, and just a whole lot of military material as well as super jump. Their bullets act like poison that can turn a Koopa Troopa into wet dry bones, and their logic is a lot more sound than man eats flour thus shoots fire underwater. Team Mario is backed by GAT Incorporated and literally the entire ocean, where they have water, a major hazard to any Inkling. A quick note, but visually the Inkling should probably not melt like they're in a vat of acid, because let's face it, the ESRB will not hesitate, but instead they should maybe have armor from the campaign that can this time regenerate slowly. Obviously they will still die with the passion of Paz Ortega Andrade. Wait, who's Paz Ortega Andrade? Oh. Huh. Okay. Oh. Moving on, the Toadstool family also has mobility. Now, Inklings can jump high, but with limitation. They can super jump, but they can super not jump in the front of battle. The Marios, on the other hand, can famously all jump. With the NBA in shambles, they can dive, wall jump, and can even fly to an extent. It's kind of a motif on how every Mario character from the simplest of Toads are all just basically kangaroos without fur. One's about speed, and the other's about maneuverability. But aside from traits, what about their movesets? Inklings wield a ton of weapons from a bucket to a pen, and their controls are pretty one-to-one with Splatoon's 1 and 2. Mario, on the other hand, we gotta explain. The health is mirroring Splatoon style, as let's face it, a 1 and done is a bit unfair, and no, we are not pulling a 2008 New Guns animation. They will not shoot pixelated blood and gore. The Mushroom Kingdom gang work more like an Overwatch roster, where they're all fundamentally unique, but can only have one on the battlefield at a time. No Mario Galaxy shenanigans, we are staying authentic. The characters also have some kind of weapon or item or whatever Mario reference I can fit in there. For Mario, he has the quote-unquote weapon Flood, which is self-explanatory, just play Sunshine. Luigi has the Poltergeist 3000, where he can eat up or blow away all the ink, and he could even have an Air Blast, a laggy get-away-from-me tool that also splashes water rather than just pure air. And I'm also really disappointed this isn't Luigi's Down Smash. Peach has a parasol that can make her float and be used as a shield. Additionally, she has a flood nozzle at the tip directly mirroring the parasol from Splatoon. Toad is on a Yoshi. Now this Yoshi, along with its flutter jump, can spit juice from Sunshine, and it's an alternative from water. He can also grapple onto walls like from Odyssey. Notice how I said with Toad though, as Toad can, if he wanted to, eject out of Yoshi, jump high and summon a new one, because we celebrate tradition here. Daisy actually holds an ice flower and can skate on ink as well as shoot ice balls. She can even double jump based on Super Mario Run, because that's a game that existed, remember that? Bowser has fire and can burn the ink like oil, just with no spreading of the fire like every other time he parks a wooden ship in a volcano. This dude has a heck ton of power, an absolute beast of a jump. Claw melee that can Deadpool all the kids into things I'm not allowed to show without Karens being offended. This comes with a con, because the fire can damage everyone, including the Mario gang. Now there's probably some other dudes here and there. Captain Toad could be a jumpless powerhouse, Wario could be a tank that charges through defense mechanisms like ink walls or bombs, Rosalina could shoot starbits, and maybe airstrikes innocent Lumas by strapping C4s onto their back. Hey, I didn't think of the idea Galaxy did. And boy, you know that the Koopalings are so down for carpet bombing. You may be noticing a certain someone missing that was integral to Sunshine. That's right, Minecraft Bird! Just kidding, Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. is actually siding with the Inklings. Maybe they pay well, or hey, adoption just leaves some heavy scars, I can't judge. He'll be in his Water Mario form and got a brush that inks just like Sunshine. Remember, you do damage this guy with water, so he's still weak to it. He's basically a Mario character you can play whilst being in Team Tentacle Hentai because of his paintbrush. Now, Team Mario also has a reversal of mechanics. It's the Octolings. These gals now wield water and are still mind-controlled after 3 installments in a DLC. These girls can't jump. However, can swim much more faster than any Mario character using the water around the maps. Additionally, because all Mario characters shoot water, the water will last and the Octolings can swim on this. The main drawback is that the water does dissolve or soak away, so it's not permanent. Thus, every time your head gets busted off by a Nerf gun, you gotta respray that ridge so you can climb back up even though you've done it before. They've also got water subs, water specials, and can even use some of the Inkling-specific gizmos on the mini-maps, like ink cannons and ink rails, and can turn them into water cannons and water rails. Now, what maps? Well, here. I've talked enough. Let me just show you the list. Castaway Bay. Yes, this is based off the Mario Party 6 board. Bowser's Water Dome. Alright, I put this here entirely because it'll be cool. I mean, think about it. Big dome underwater housing a big boy Bowser castle that's here to murder stocks by hoarding oil using Koopa slavery. Or Koopa slavery, if you want to be nationalistic about it. Now, all these maps are picked for best fit overall. Water is always prevalent, and some of the terrain should be redesigned for battle, like doing something with a gigantic hole on the center of the common observatory. Additionally, we should be having heights, obstacles, item boxes for healing, coins, Bowser's minions that attack squids, and ink cannons as well as ink grinders not usable by the Mario gang. There's also EGAD's lab. It's a completely new location, and I didn't put it in specific categories because major lore hints in here, but this is also the place where the two worlds converge and we pull a PlayStation All-Stars. Peach's Castle is also a bit different. After a small path, there's a wormhole up ahead, emanating a rainbow road similar to how I like my woman. It directly leads to the wormhole exit in Inkopolis Plaza, where the two major landmarks, warping through space and/or time, face each other. Lastly, we also have the modes. How do you win in this game? Well, there's Turf War. This one basically calculates how much ink is spread across the floor. If the turf is about 50% or more covered with ink, squids take over, but if they're held off by the Mario gang for 4-ish minutes, Luigi has a lot more ghosts to clean. The map will actually start with quick ink blots splattered across the entire screen, covering about 50% of the map. The territories could split down the middle because it makes sense because that's where they're located. It just doesn't look great, so honestly, I like my idea more. We also have the ranked games, Tower, Control Points, Clam Blitz, I guess, and more. We also have Team Elimination. This traditional format counts the amount of squid flesh, or Koopa flesh, or Italian flesh that they rack up. Additionally, we got Salmon Run or Bowser Run. For Mario, they have to get through the Salmonoids, but for the Inklings, they also have to get Bowser's minions. Now, I've been thinking of a Mario grounded mode, and we have the Platformer, a challenge mode that tests your platforming with Splatoon and Mario characters, a speedrun of the same course, however with specific obstacles that each team can take advantage of. There'll be several rounds giving each respective team points, and to get said points, you gotta finish first. I don't know how this will work at the 4v4, maybe 4 in the same course, 4 in the other course, or maybe 8 different courses that gives points to whoever finishes first. Or maybe a mix of both. The levels have to be really well decorated, and not just the Super Mario Sunshine, oh, let's just put geometry until it looks like a 1-1 reference, cause it honestly does not. What do you mean the background is Mario reference? I don't care, it looks like I'm in a snow globe and I wanna get out. Now, before I get to the final largest mode on the list, we should even have a slightly more laid back mode, a mixed mode, where Mario characters and Splatoon characters can actually be in the same team. I don't know how this will fit in the story, maybe they just did it after EGAD, gets murdered. And finally, Team Takeover, inspired from Overwatch, TF2, Garden Warfare, and so. You gotta push a Mario Kart or a Krusty Sean through the entire map before time runs out. However, for the last protection point, instead of just escorting a cart, it's an elaborate minigame, where maybe the Mario gang are planning to relaunch the giant-ass cannon from the end of the Splatoon 2 DLC. Or maybe Squid Kids are pulling an ultimate thematic reversal by rescuing the captured damsel in distress Pearl because she was mistaken for a stupid, dumb garbage toad. I just need to address the facts. The entire campaign part of the game is gonna have a twist ending, where it's revealed that EGAD has had access to the Splatoon realm earlier than we thought, and it's revealed that he's the inventor that made the ever-iconic giant statue boss of the DLC, and he tried to kill Inkopolis Square so he can sell the Zap Fishes for more money. Done. I don't know if this fits with Splatoon lore, but don't ask, cause I'm not an expert. Oh my god, I'm gonna be disappointed by Splatoon 3 at the end. This entry just needs to pull this much of a curveball in order to justify having more entries than the number of Mario Odysseys on the system. Looking at the trailers, the Mad Max campaign is what I'm most curious about. I kinda don't care about the online. Yeah, I'll still play it, but I want a really strong, enormous, and sprawling focus on this thing that can give us a better villain than that of Mr. Forgettable Forgetsies on literally an effing blender. And I know for a fact they can do this. You see, Splatoon 2 just leaves a lot of mysteries. Never answered, however, definitely there. Will we ever see Mr. Grizzly? What about the origin of Judd? What about the fact that the Squid Sister blew up France? Or the fact that there was human English hinting in the fact that this is actually a post-apocalypse world in which the human species didn't make it to space? And will we get more degenerate idol wars that can give me another 15,000? 1-5!
FBI, open up!